Hello, this is Dr. Amina Sharif. I am a lecturer on the BA program in the Department of Educational Studies. And with me today is the head of the BA program, Dr. Thomas Zacharias. Hello, Thomas.
Hi, Amina.
So in this video, Thomas and I are going to have a quick chat about the BA program. And so let's get started. Thomas, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your research, what you teach?
Yes, Amina, sure. I'm a sociologist by training, and my research interests are race and racism, particularly in political discourse. And I'm also interested in the cultural legacy of fifth generation German indentured laborers in Jamaica. And I also like low frequencies. I like the bass instrument, and I like roller skating.
Wonderful. And I've read some of your work that you have written on skateboarding, and I just think it's really fascinating. So I think it's great that students will have the opportunity to engage with your work in class. So tell me, Thomas, what does the structure of the BA program look like?
The BA consists of it's 3 years of study for students. In the first year, students will get a really nice and easy introduction into the wider area of educational studies. What's particularly important for us is that we provide students with a really good theoretical grounding in order to critically engage with what education means today. So we'll be thinking about issues such as inclusion and exclusion, social class, opportunities and aspirations. We'll be thinking about international elements of education, gender in the early years. We'll be discussing issues such as institutional racism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, homophobia in public services and schools, special educational needs. And in the first year, we will be helping students to just understand what it means being at a university, how to read academic texts. We will help them and train them to produce academic essays, to do little presentations. And the first year of the BA consists of 4 core modules that all students will be taking. In years 2 and 3, students have the chance to add option modules to the core modules that they'll be taking. So students are able, over the 3 years, to sort of put together a degree that they will really enjoy and that interests them, so they can sort of specialize in certain areas.
Sounds amazing. The way you summarize the program is, exactly true to what happens in the department and just teaching across the modules. I think young people will definitely be coming into the department thinking about education in a particular way, and they come out just totally transformed in their understanding of education.
Do you
Go
know
on.
what's really nice about this BA, actually? There are
Um,
2 things that I think really make this BA very strong. The first one is the enormous sort of diversity of the teaching staff, because people come from all kinds of countries and places with often very specialist knowledge about areas that are not necessarily inside Britain or the UK, myself included, and also the enormous breadth and diversity of the student body, which creates a really stimulating and enjoyable and social learning environment.
I absolutely agree. I think that mix makes for a great space for exchanging ideas and pushing your thinking beyond what you're comfortable with, and just entering new domains of thought. So definitely agree with you there. Thomas, I want to pick up on something that you said earlier, which is that uh, the first couple of years in the program, or the first year in the program, there's a set of foundational modules. Can you walk us through what those modules are that they're required to take?
Yes, in the first year, there's one foundational module which every student takes. There are additional shorter modules that are provided by the university, but the core module for us in educational studies is called Culture and Identity. And this is where we introduce students to some key theoretical principles that will be important in their in their further studies in years 2 and 3, or if they want to go on to do an MA, or if they want to work in social activism, in charities, if they want to be a social worker, if they want to be a journalist. And those key ideas are focusing specifically on how do we understand the idea of gender, for instance. What is gender? How do we understand the inequalities that arise in societies as a result of we call it social construction of gender? We will think about key principles such as equality and inequality. We will think about issues around racism. How can we understand what is racism actually? Or we will think about the issue of social class and how are people affected by a condition that is not, as Marx would have it, of their own making.
Sounds amazing. So can you walk us through some of the optional modules that students will be able to select from?
Yes, optional modules will come into play in year 2. Like I said, in year 1, there's a one size fits all. Every student is taking these 4 core modules. In year 2, we have one core module, which is almost like a vocational module. We will train students into how to do social and cultural research. So if we really want to find something out about the social world, we will train our students in the tools that they can use to conduct proper academic research. So that is the core module. But then students can choose from modules such as uncovering youth educational inequalities, or early childhood in a diverse society, or comparative and international education. So you can see already that it enables our students to sort of go into different career strands, as it were. In year 3, students will have 2 core modules that every student takes, and they combine that with 2 optional modules that they can choose. And the core modules in year 3 are the dissertation. So every student will produce a little independent research project, and that builds up from year 2, where we train them to do the research. We teach them the tools, and then they can go and choose a topic themselves that they would like to look into in more depth, and then they can investigate it and write a little research dissertation. The second core module is called Learning in the Community. That the interesting aspect about this module, which every student takes, is that they will have a short placement. We have nurseries, we have programs where people engage with people who have just come out of prison, for instance. We have placements, well, as it said, learning in the community. So it's any social or community context, such as charities or schools, teaching assistants. So those are the 2 core modules. And then students will be able to choose from learning about special educational needs, or policy and practice in early childhood education, or race and representation, which is one of our social justice modules, the one that actually us 2 teach together, which I very much enjoy. And lastly, they can choose debates in primary education.
Wow, thank you for that, Thomas. It really is useful to get a sense of what the structure looks like in the Department of Educational Studies at Goldsmiths, and to get a sense of the modules that are required and optional, so that young people who are on the fence about whether they want to come to the department, join the Department of Educational Studies at Goldsmiths or not, they get a strong sense of what they're getting into by watching this video. So thank you for giving us your time, and I hope that this video was useful to, or will be useful to, anyone watching this and making a decision about their future plans. And I hope to see lots of new recruits who will have watched this in the department in September. Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity, Amina.
You're welcome.